want you to stay, but I tell you to go. I know that I need you, but you'll never know. It may be too obvious, but can't you see? You take me to places I don't wanna leave. When it hits me in slow motion, then it's right where I belong. It runs deeper than an ocean, and we've only just begun. When I'm underneath the surface, will you ever let me go? This could be fairly strong or deeper than. The breath in between. The minute you stay and the second you leave. When it hits me in slow motion, then it's right where I belong. It runs deeper than an ocean, and we've only just begun. When I'm underneath the surface, will you ever let me go? This could be fairly strong or deeper than.
Massive time. Woo! Traders, ladies and gentlemen, we are live over on Instagram, we are live over on TikTok, and we are live over on YouTube right now. And we have a whole bunch to be able to dive into tonight, getting a little bit of an 8 p.m. show on. If you guys want to be able to watch me and see me as I go over these charts, make sure you guys go check out my YouTube at Sean Dekmar, and you guys will be able to follow along perfectly so you guys are not missing out on anything whatsoever. But I'm just going to give everyone about 30 seconds to be able to trizzle on in. If you guys want to, make sure you guys share this. If you guys are on TikTok, make sure you guys double tap it. Instagram, show some hearts, show some love. And of course, on YouTube, hit that thumbs on up. That's the best way to show support. So what are we going to be talking about tonight? That's what I want to go over. What in the world are we going to be talking about tonight? What are we going to be focusing on? How are you guys going to be better traders by the end of this? So tomorrow is an absolutely massive day. What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing tonight? Woo! I'm getting so fired up, guys. Just a little bit of a heads on up. We will be doing these 8 o'clock shows every Tuesday and every Thursday on Instagram, on TikTok, and over on my YouTube. So, guys, let's dive right in on this. If you guys want to rewatch this afterwards, you obviously can. So what do we have at this moment, traders? At this time, let's take a look over on the S&P 500. The S&P 500, as we know, is the top 500 companies in the United States. It's basically the breadbasket of the best of the best. We have Meta in here. We have Amazon in here. We got Tesla in here. We got NVIDIA in here. We have everything that we want inside this breadbasket. Now, with that being stated, traders, we are asking ourselves, how much higher can the S&P 500 really go up to? When we take a look at the daily chart, it's almost laughable at this point. It is. It makes me want it makes me want to laugh, guys. And the reason why it makes me laugh so much is because we have just been absolutely flying. Traders, let me tell you something right now. The average return on the S&P 500 is how much? What's the answer? Drop it in the comments below. Around 10 to 11% per year. 10 to 11% per year over on the S&P 500. Right now, we are coming up towards around 23% on the year. So, talk about a stock that is completely overbought at this time. And when I say stock, it's not really a stock, it's an ETF. But you can see year to date, we're up 23.95%. This is one of the biggest years in history in the stock market. That's how crazy this is at the moment. That this is one of the biggest years in history of the stock market. Let's head on over and let's just kind of see what is the average return on the S&P 500. S&P 500 average return, 5 years, 7.51%, 10 years, 10.41%, 20 years, 7.64%. And you're telling me this year we are currently up 23%? Now, traders, that's very great, but it's also a little alarming, isn't it? When we take a look over on, let's say, stockcharts.com. This is something that I was doing with our chat members before. We go ahead and we take a look over on the S&P 500. What's the most concerning thing at this time? The most concerning thing that I see is, and it has to be, the RSI. When we take a look over on the RSI at this moment, over on this S&P 500, a very simple, very easy way to read this is anything that's over a 70 on the RSI is considered overbought. Anything that is underneath a 30 is considered oversold. So if we line up the diagram, we line up the chart, we line up the graph, we could see here's a 30 on the RSI. Bring this thing on down. Notice what's happening. We're oversold. When you are oversold, that means it's a cheap price. It's a bargain price. When we have a 30 or under on the RSI, we are now considered oversold. If I told you that there's a great company, there's a great ETF, there's something that gives you an average return around 10%, and right now it's oversold, that would be a great time to buy it. On the contrary, the opposite happens when you're overbought. When you're overbought, if I said, hey, do you want to buy a company? It's extremely overbought. It's gotten too much hype and it's going to come down any day now. You probably want to stay away from that. So just like we can go across the S&P 500 and we could see all the times that we're oversold right here, bring down the line and realize that when you're oversold, you usually see a spike on up. Take a look at when you're right here, 30 on the RSI. When you have a 30 on the RSI, guess what happens? You're oversold, you start moving on up. Let's go the opposite now. We could see that whenever we are overbought. We're overbought on the RSI. Guess what happens? Very big drop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think is going to be happening as right now we have a 70, we have a 73, I want to say, 79 on the RSI. Wow, that is ridiculous. 79 on the RSI. What do you guys think is going to be right around the corner? We can do this for the S&P 500 traders. We could do this over on Tesla. We could do this over on Apple. Let's do it over on NVDA here, a stock that everyone loves. So we know NVDA has been a very popular play. We know NVDA is a stock that nearly everyone loves and adores. And when we take a look over on NVDA, what happened when we hit a 70, when we hit a 70, when we got near a 70, or we got above a 70? Take a look right here. 70, pullback. Take a look right here. 70, pullback. Take a look right here. 70 pullback. Traders, do not be alarmed that the S&P 500 most likely in the next few days is going to, or not few days, maybe even, within a week or so, is going to get a very strong pullback. It's all part of natural. Hey, you could say, oh, the stock market's going to go higher and higher and higher. Ladies and gentlemen, I would agree with you. The stock market always goes higher because it's the breadbasket of the top 500 companies in the United States. I could switch over to a monthly chart right here and we could look all the way back to 2008. If I looked all the way back to 2008 right here, traders, what do you guys realize? You could see that the stock market does just keep going up, up, up. You could see that the stock market does continue to climb. You could see the stock market does continue to be able to build on up. Right? That's a fact. The stock market's amazing. But over the past 60 days, it's been ridiculous. When you take a look over on the weekly chart here, this is the weekly chart. What do you guys realize? Well, we usually have a little bit of red. We have maybe 2 weeks of green. Here's a little bit of red. Here's about a week of green. Here's a week of red. Here's a couple weeks of green. Here's a week of red. Here's a couple green weeks. Here's a couple red weeks. Notice what's happening. We are now at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green weeks in a row, a 79 on the RSI, and coming up to the highest the stock market has ever been in history. Traders, I am not trying to sit here and say, get ready, the world's going to end tomorrow. That's not what I'm saying, and please do not take it like that. What I'm saying is, if you buy right now, getting the FOMO, getting the fear of missing out, I do feel like it's going to be regretful. Not as in if you plan on holding for a very long time, I'm talking about in the short term. As we have already established, the stock market will go up and it will continue to go up and the stock market will continue to climb over time. But I'm talking about a healthy pullback. I'm talking about a healthy drop, maybe back on down towards the 440s. Not anything recession-wise, not saying the Great Depression, not saying that the stock market's going to come hurtling down like a meteor to the earth. Nothing along those lines. But would a healthy pullback make sense after a 79 on the RSI? after having record highs be hit or coming up to record highs be hit, after having 7 green weeks in a row, after being up 23% on the year, the biggest year we've had in the past decade? Traders, I don't know. I don't think I'm taking crazy pills here. So what is the whole point of tonight? What's the whole point of this live right here? Is I want you guys to be able to get prepared. Because does anyone know what's coming up tomorrow? Hey, if you guys know what's coming up tomorrow, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what's coming on up tomorrow. It is the quad witching. Quadruple witching is tomorrow. And that's what I want to talk about at this moment, traders. Right? Quadruple witching is tomorrow. Now, I do not know if this quadruple witching is going to lead towards a huge drop, but I will say it is guaranteed to be one of the most active, one of the most impactful days. So for anyone who does not know, tomorrow is quadruple witching. Now, quadruple witching, it's an occurrence that happens only 4 times throughout the entire year. That's how big this is. Happens 4 times throughout the entire year, guys. Also, a little heads on up. If you guys are enjoying this live right now, make sure you guys give a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys are tapping that screen, showing a little bit of love. Any way that you guys can interact with it, drop comments. It just helps it out, and I appreciate it so much, guys. So again, thank you so much for everything that you guys are saying and all the support you guys show. So, also, a little heads on up right here, traders. We have quadruple witching here. Now, what a quadruple witching is it refers to the expiration of stock index futures, stock index options, stock options, single stock future derivative contracts, all expiring at the same time. So really what we have here, team, is we have stock options, stock index futures. They are all expiring at the same exact time. Now, why is this important? Well, think about how many people are going to be getting out of positions tomorrow. Getting out of positions, either taking profits or getting out of positions and looking to get involved in new plays. So let's actually take some look at some volume over on these quad witching days. So I'm going to bring this on up. This is the open volume percentage daily volume on expiration. So what we have at this time, team, you could see the difference. In the green is anything that has a quad witching day. Anything that is in the purple is just a non-traditional third Friday, and anything that is in the gray here, and I'm going to try to move this up for our Instagram viewers, or actually turn down the phone a little bit here. Let me just kind of crank this, help you guys on out over on Instagram over there. Anything that is in the gray here, team, is just a normal day. Anything that's in the purple is going to be third Fridays, and anything that's in a green is a quadruple witching day. Notice how much more volume is on a quadruple witching day. Let's go ahead and take a look over on this chart instead. What do we have over on this chart, which is pretty awesome? We could see increased volume during quadruple witching dates. Big increase in volume, big increase in volume, big increase in volume. Let's go ahead and take a look over here, quad volume. Take a look right here, team. We could take a look over the last about 6 years. Now, within these last 6 years, you could see the quadruple witching on the charts right here. Each quadruple witching was the highest point of volume on the entire year. How nuts is that to think about? So traders, so what we have right now is tomorrow, December 15th, is going to be a quadruple witching, where we have all of these contracts expiring at the same time, and people are getting out of their positions, which is going to be taking profits, and they're going to be most likely looking to relocate those funds into another different contract. So if we have all this action going on here, we want to be asking ourselves, what usually happens on quadruple witching days, right? That's what we want to see. What usually happens on quadruple witching days? Well, this is what we usually see. Quadruple witching, as you guys can see behind me, it usually has quadruple witching, very big drop. You could see quadruple witching, very nice drop. Behind me, quadruple witching, very nice drop. Quadruple witching, very nice drop. Quadruple witching, very nice drop. Usually, we are going to be seeing quadruple witching, and we are going to be seeing very nice drops. What about this year so far, right? Have we seen anything this year that's been different? Let's go ahead and let's take a look. So these are the quadruple dates right here I got from chat. Someone spelled September wrong. But what we have here is these are the quadruple dates that we've had already. So there's 4 a year, as we learned. You could see March 17th was our last one. And you guys can actually line these up over on the daily chart if you guys want to. But I'm just going to tell you guys right now. March 17th It went from 396 down to 390, the S&P 500. We fell $6. June 16th, we fell from 441 to 439. September 15th, we fell from 450 to 443. So traders, what I'm trying to get everyone on top of is that this market has been going on a crazy rip and run. If you're a long-term investor, if you're a person sitting on your long-term investments, I love it. Traders, please do not ever get the wrong idea. I am so happy for you. I am so pumped for you. I'm so excited for you. The reason why I'm doing this right now is because I do get a little fearful for new investors that are jumping in the market and are going to say to themselves, oh, look at this. The market just goes on up. Let me buy. When potentially you could be buying at a very tough position. Also, on top of that, tomorrow is a quadruple witching day, as we could see usually leads to very big pullbacks, very big drops. We could see the massive amount of volume that quadruple witching brings on in, and we could see that these are usually right at the very tippity tops. It's pretty nuts to be able to be on top of. So a quadruple witching refers to the simultaneous expiration of stock index futures, index options, stock options, and single stock future derivative contracts 4 times a year. So going into tomorrow, I am definitely going to be on my toes. Going into tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be saying to myself, hey, I want to be smart here. Now, with that being stated, I know that there still is a little bit more room to run. A lot of times when we run up to a resistance line, when we get to a certain level, usually momentum takes over until we at least hit that resistance line. So for instance, traders, let's take a look at a few different examples here, okay? Let's go over to just a daily chart. Let me switch this out to a daily chart, and let's take a look at some of these that I'm talking about. Take a look over on Netflix, okay? Netflix, we can see that Netflix right here has a high. This high is right next to 485. Now, if we follow the trend over on Netflix, we could see we hit a high of 45. We started fading, falling, dropping, fading, falling, dropping. And then once we started moving on up, traders get in their mind. They get a target in their mind. They say, what's the target? Oh, my target's 485. And once we get to like a certain point, like 465, it's like, when is it going to reverse? It's going to reverse at the old high. It's going to reverse right next to 485. That's when we start dropping. We start moving back on up. What's the target? The target's always going to be the old spiking high of 485. That's the next target. So same exact thing, traders, when we go ahead and we take a look over on like NVDA. When we take a look over on NVDA right here, what can you guys realize? Same exact idea. We run on up to the price of 500. We hit 500, we start falling, we start fading, we start dropping. As we start building and we get back up towards like 480, what do you think everyone's target is that we're going to get up to? We're going to sell at, as you guys can guess, let's start selling at old resistance, which is going to be at 500. So notice how we get back up to 500. Then of course we fall back on down, and as we're starting to move on up, traders are trying to get back up towards 500. Usually we hit a resistance line, you fall back down, and after you get within like $10 of it, most of the time traders are going to be like, hey, we're going to go up until we hit that area. Same as that thought process that I have with the S&P 500. The S&P 500 right now, I go back over to a weekly chart, we only have a little bit left until we get up towards that 480 mark. So I'm going to tell everyone right now, this whole entire live, I've been talking about not going long over on the S&P 500, and I've been saying just be prepared for a possible reversal in the next few weeks. But that is within, I think, the next few days to the next few weeks. Tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day, and I want everyone to be aware of it. But my one con that I would give the call still is we have not touched the 480 mark. We have had crazy momentum to the upside. Yesterday, Jerome Powell said that we are done raising rates, which brought in extra excitement as the Fed start to pivot. And now we still have a little bit more room to run up to that 480 mark. If we have a little bit more room to run up to 480, it is kind of tough to say, let me go ahead and do puts when I know we still might get up towards that 480 area. So it really comes down to your decision and what you're thinking is going to be the best thing for you. Do you want to wait until 480 or no, Dek? I don't want to wait until 480. I just want to jump in with the quadruple witching. Quadruple witching does not guarantee reversals, even though it does usually lead to a reversal. But what it can guarantee is massive amounts of volume. So there will be a massive amount of volume, but that volume may try try to push it up to 480 before we get any sort of pullback. If you want to be as safe as possible, wait until you get up towards 480. If you guys are saying, hey, I don't really care about safety, I'm jumping in as quickly as I can, I don't want to miss it, then you could jump in over on a put contract and go from there. But I want to let every single person know what I've done throughout this last month or so. Throughout this last month, the S&P 500, I haven't believed, this type of spike. I'll be honest with you. If you guys have been in chat, if you guys follow me on social media, when we went from 408 to 450, I was saying this is crazy. Then we went from 450 to 460, and I said, guys, this is nuts. Now we're from 460 all the way up to 470, and while I'm still having my feelings of we are overbought, and while I do have my feelings of I don't feel comfortable trading these highs, it's also we're so close to hitting a record high, I don't probably want you guys doing put contracts just yet, as we still have a little bit more room to run. So, traders, let's do a recap of what we learned tonight. Okay, let's do a little recap of where we're at, what we're seeing, what we're focusing on, and what every single trader should be aware of. Number one, let's talk about all the negatives over on the S&P 500. The negatives is we are almost up 24% on the S&P 500. That is an extremely overbought year, huge year for traders. With that being stated, though, we do have a 79 on the RSI, and this is the highest we have been in probably since the pandemic. Then after that, traders, seeing the S&P 500, we are getting up towards those record highs and having 7 green weeks in a row. There is everything screaming at me saying that we should be seeing a reversal soon. But we know that tomorrow is a quadruple witching day, which means massive volume. The thing that has the calls going over on the S&P 500 is we do have 7 green weeks in a row. And going against the momentum, take it from me firsthand, can ruin a day, can ruin a loss, can definitely take away a little bit of that profit. I've gone on the opposite side of the highway, and you know what? It has led to a loss every time I've gone on the opposite side of the highway. We think about driving against momentum, you're going to be having headlights coming right towards you. What you want to do the majority of the time is drive with the traffic. And right now, the traffic is going up. Go with momentum until you see a turn. Obviously, everyone wants to try to time the market perfectly, but that's very difficult. I think the smartest thing to do is wait till 480, then start getting that reversal. We do know, of course, Jerome Powell did just pivot, and that means that we will be cutting rates in the future, but that does not mean anytime soon. If you guys have not watched my brand new cut rates video on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, all that good stuff, it was my last post. I literally just posted it like 3 hours ago, so make sure you guys go ahead and check that on out if you guys haven't yet. Okay. Other than that, I just kind of want to open up to see if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns. Also, a little side note, traders, if you guys want to see me trade live every single day, I do trade live over on tradecaster.com. Everyone gets a free 7-day pass. You are not charged up front. You are charged after your 7-day pass, and if you do not like it, you can cancel within the trial. But I always want to give everyone access to test it out for free to make sure that you guys are getting knowledge, education, and that you guys want to be there. Not only is it myself live streaming, but we have 10 other live streamers that you guys have access to as well. It's basically like the Twitch of stock trading over on Tradecaster. It's really awesome and really great. So if you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. But I will probably be jumping on. I want to start in 2024 doing these live shows every Tuesday and every Thursday for anywhere between 30 minutes all the way up towards an hour, just making sure that people that just want to be involved in the stock market know exactly what's going on, and I can give you guys basically straight direct answers. I don't ever want to be someone that is just like coming on here and wasting your time. I want to come on to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all these different platforms, and basically just give you the answers that you're looking for. Hey, Dek, I work a 9-to-5 job. I really don't know what's happening in the market. Can you please just tell me, right? What's coming on up here. Dek, how do you find out about quadruple, witching news or quad witching? It really just comes down to being in the market. I've been doing this for 10 years now. It's just something you're aware of. So it kind of just comes down to experience. It's not like it happens every year. So once I told you about it right now, guess what? You now know of it, and you're going to be looking out for the next one. I think the next one is what, March? So it happens 4 times a year. What were the dates? March, June, September, and December, I believe it is. And now you know. So it just kind of things, the more you go, the more you find on out. Eric and Kaya, is there only stock trading at Tradecaster, or is there Forex and crypto as well? Well, if we are going to be adding Forex and crypto traders. If you guys are interested in streaming your stock trading, your Forex, your crypto. And if you guys want to be a full-time live streamer, we are actually having a big hiring introduction on Wednesday. Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'm jumping on this live stream here. And if you guys are interested, we are going to go over how to become a full-time live streamer on tradecaster.com. And you guys, that might be your next job. So we want to be able to have all different types of streamers. We have, of course, right now, stock traders, penny stock traders, option traders, long-term investors, but we definitely want to be able to have Forex. We definitely want to be able to have crypto. And if you are a person that you think that can bring value, we'd love to have you streaming. Yeah, Ryan, so that's pushed back to next Wednesday. Wednesday at 7 p.m. So great job. Yeah, I'm so fired up about it as well, guys. It's going to be really awesome and really cool. So next Wednesday, 7 p.m., if you guys want to become a full-time stock streamer, that's where we're going to be doing it over on TradeCaster. Beautiful, guys. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, next live show, we obviously will be live over on TradeCaster, but at the same time, guys, our next live show will be on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So I'm live every day over on TradeCaster, but I will again be doing these Tuesday and Thursday shows at 8 o'clock. Do not miss them. Hey, good luck to everyone tomorrow. I'll see you guys on TradeCaster.com, and I just want to say thank you very much. Guys, enjoy your night. Go watch some Thursday night football. Good luck to everyone in your fantasy playoffs, and get ready for quad witching tomorrow. It's going to be a hot one. All right, I'll see you guys then. You guys are awesome. I love you. Hit that thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification button. I'll see you guys on Tuesday if you guys aren't on TradeCaster for another live show coming on up. Love you guys. See you.